Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. My name is Tanya, for those of you that are new here, and I am a watercolor and acrylic artist. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create stacking stones in watercolor. I've got my Arches watercolor paper. I've got 3 different size paintbrushes. They're my Grumbacher paintbrushes, a 10, a 12, and a 6. And I've got my Winsor Newton watercolors. Now you can use any kind of watercolors, any kind of paper or brushes you want. This is just a really easy, just fun, it's mostly meditative painting process. So it's not going to be perfect. Don't worry about how pretty your painting is going to be. It's more about the process and how it makes you feel as you're creating it. Now, stacking stones have been around for a very long time. People have been using them for centuries. They were used to mark trails, and they were also seen as symbolic offerings for representing gratitude and wishing and honoring sacred spaces. So it's just a really fun little practice that we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to be taking my pencil, and you don't have to do this with pencil at first. You could just start right away with watercolor. But I'm going to enjoy how to make the shapes of these stacking stones here. So I'm going to just draw maybe just a line right here of where my ground is going to be. And then my first stacking stone, normally you want them to go kind of up. The largest one obviously being at the bottom so it can hold everything, but you can make them all different sizes. So there's nothing perfect about this. Just start making some boulders and just kind of put them on top of each other, and you can make them that they're not exactly straight across. So it just kind of represents all the imbalances in life. Sometimes life is in check and sometimes it's not. It's just about working through it. I have one coming off this way, and then I think I'm just going to do one right at the top like that. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7, and that actually worked out perfectly because there are 7 chakras. So that worked out beautifully. All right, I'm going to take my kneaded eraser, and I'm just going to lightly lighten up my pencil lines here. So now I've got it kind of in my head how I want this. All right, and I'm going to start with my size 12. And you can do any colors you want. You could do the colors of the rainbow. You could do all different shades of green or blue, whatever is speaking to you. There's no right, no wrong. I'm going to go ahead and take my, let's see, what color is this? My alizarin crimson. Now you can do this in a couple different ways. You can go ahead and wet your stone first and then apply the paint, or you can go ahead and just apply your paint on dry paper. So what I think I'm going to do first is just go ahead and get my stone wet. And I did have a little bit of that paint on my brush still, which is totally fine. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply it. You might also want to start thinking about where your light source is coming from, whether it be the sun, the moon, wherever, whatever you want your light source to be. Is it coming from the right? Is it coming from the left? So if it's coming from the right, you obviously want your darker part of your stone to be on the left because your light is shining this way. Go ahead and apply as much as you want. We can go ahead and layer a little bit more. As our painting dries, we can always go ahead and add more layers. And I'm just going to fill this area in a little bit over here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my next stone nice and wet. And where the 2 stones touch, it will start to bleed, which is fine. To me, that's beautiful. It just shows the merging of different parts of your life. So I've got the red and the orange. I guess I am kind of doing the rainbow here. Didn't really realize that, but I guess that's just what I want to do today. So we're going to merge those 2 colors together. All right, look how beautiful that is. Again, leaving a little bit of a lighter tone on the right side. I'm gonna go ahead and get my third one filled in with water. And if you don't like them merging together, then go ahead and dry the first stone, or you can do your first stone, skip the second, do your third. That way it gives it time to dry in between. Again, I like the way it looks when it merges together. I'm gonna pick up my cad yellow. And just add that in. Again, merging together. All different stages of your life are merging together. If you want to drop in a different color, I think I'm going to drop in a little bit of my yellow ochre on this side just to darken it up a little bit. Okay. And I think I'm going to drop in a little bit more of my orange. I believe this was my cad orange. All right. Go ahead and get my fourth stone. Now, as you see, I placed some stones that are larger on top of some smaller ones. It just symbolizes where maybe you had a rough patch in your life. So it was a little uneasy. Not sure if you were going to make it. The stone might, it's feeling a little shaky right here. There's nothing really supporting it right there. All right, I'm going to take my green. I believe this is my sap green. So I ended up choosing the colors of the rainbow, and they actually represent the seven chakras. The first chakra is the root chakra, which is always represented, well, not always, but usually represented in red, and it means grounding. Add a little more green. Actually, I think I want to add a little bit of this other green to it, there we go, just to make it a little bit more dramatic. Then the second chakra is the sacral chakra. So as you look at this going up, you could also think of this as a figure. This could be like where the person is sitting in cross-legged, and this is the root chakra. It's at the tailbone, and then above that is the sacral chakra. Above that is the solar plex chakra, and then your heart chakra is represented in green. I think I'm going to move that over a little bit more. I love the way that this is blending together into the yellow. I'm going to go ahead and get the fifth one nice and wet here. So the fifth one is your throat chakra, and that's normally represented in blue. So I'm going to pick up, I think this is my Prussian blue. No, is this my Prussian blue? I think this is my turquoise. No, and maybe it is my Prussian blue. It doesn't really matter. Just pick up whatever color you want. Dab off your brush. You can even now start shaping your stones a little bit more. So let's say you wanted to change the shape of one. You can always just start doing that right now. And I will get my sixth one wet. And your sixth one is your third eye chakra. And it's kind of an indigo color. So I'm going to pick up this, it's like an ultramarine blue and purple mixture. Oh, that's really pretty how it's bleeding together. You could even add in a little bit more of your blue in there if you want to, because it's more of an indigo, which is a bluish purple. Pretty. Oh, I love the way that the heart chakra is blending all the way down to my second chakra here, which is your sacral chakra. So you never know what's going to be happening here. And then the seventh little stone on top, ooh, that bled really nicely, is going to be my purple. And that is your crown chakra, usually represented in purple. So as you're painting these little stones, just start thinking about where you're grateful, what parts of your life you're grateful. Is there a situation going on in your life right now that maybe just worked out? I'm going to add a little bit more of my indigo right in here. And mix it in with my blue again. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead, since my red stacking stone, you know what? Actually, I'm going to make the ground first. You could pick any color ground you want. I think I'm going to do mine in this kind of bluish gray tone. I've got just a mixture of colors on my palette here. And go around your stone. And again, you probably want a little bit more on the left side because that's where your shadow is going to be. I just added a little bit of my Prussian blue over there. Maybe a little bit right under the stone to ground it. You could do this in grass. You can make a little grass coming up. You could do whatever you want. It's your little design. I think I'm going to go ahead and deepen up my red a little bit. And another thing you could do is when they dry completely, you could even go in and make like little designs, maybe with an archival ink pen or a marker. And I want these two to bleed a little bit together down here, so I'm going to push it a little bit. Add a little bit more. I'm never afraid to push my darks. But if you are, then definitely, if it makes you uncomfortable, then don't do it. But I like the way that looks. And I'm going to add more orange. These two bleed a little bit. Beautiful. And a little more yellow. Now where the yellow and the green are merging together, it's kind of turning into this lime, which is really pretty. That's beautiful. All right, I am going to go ahead and dry this, and we're going to go on and see if we need another layer. Okay, so I went ahead and dried it. You could have just let it dry on its own, which would have been perfectly fine, actually probably even better than forcing it to dry. But for the sake of the video, I did go ahead and use my heat gun. It created these beautiful textures in here where all the colors are blending together. There's some really hard lines in here. Normally in the watercolor land, you don't want these harsh lines. I love them. I feel that it just brings a little bit more abstract to the painting, a little bit more depth to the painting. So I love them. I embrace them. I think they're beautiful. But if you don't like that, what you could do is when it was starting to dry, you could just softly with your paintbrush just kind of move the paint along as it was starting to dry, and then it would get rid of some of those harsh lines. The reason it caused these harsh lines is because I kept adding paint on top of paint on top of paint and a lot of water. So that's why I got these harsh lines. But again, I was forcing it to do that because that's what I like. All right, I feel like it needs a little bit more red down here. Again, I love to push my colors. You don't need to, you could just stop where you are. But I'm gonna add a little more. And then I don't want that harsh line right there like that, so I'm just gonna take water and just bleed it around. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my orange one. A little bit more this way. Again, I'm going to bump up the colors to each other, but I don't think they're going to bleed as much this time because I'm not adding as much water. There. I think I also want to add a little bit more blue up here. just adds another little layer of depth. Just makes your painting a little bit more vibrant. And my purple, let's see, it was my dioxazine purple up on top. That way it just breaks up the purples up here a little bit, so then that way you could tell one is indigo and one is purple. And I'm going to blend that nicely in there. And if you want to lift some of it up, just lift it up with a clean brush, pull it off. Very pretty. All right, if you want to go ahead and make a background, you could definitely do that. Or you can go ahead, like I said before, and make some designs in here. I might even do that with my Posca marker, maybe a white one, and just put some white designs in here. I also like the way that my red stone bled into the ground here. I kind of forced it to do that, but it gives it a little bit of a reflection on the ground that it's sitting on, and I think that's beautiful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and dry this one more time, and then we will play around with a white Posca marker. Okay, so I went ahead and dried it one more time, and I'm going to start adding designs into my stacking stones. But I just wanted to go and just let you know again about the 7 chakras. The first one being red is your base chakra. Your second one is usually represented in orange, and that is your sacral chakra. Your yellow is your solar plex chakra. Your green is your heart chakra. Blue represents the throat chakra. The indigo represents your third eye chakra, and the purple represents your crown chakra. So they all represent something. The red is earth. The orange is water. Your solar plex is fire. Your heart represents air. Your throat chakra, the blue, is ether, which is like an organic chemistry. Your third eye is cosmic energy. And your purple up at the top of the crown of your head is the divine. It's the light. So they all represent something. So as you're creating these, I want you to go ahead and just think about everything in your life that you're grateful for and how it all came together in alignment. All right, so I'm going to take my Posca marker. I have 2 different sizes here. I have a 1 and a 5. So just means one's a little bit thicker. You can go in and you can start making little swirls. You can, anything that's kind of a sacred symbol to you. Hearts, eyes. I'm really known for my eyes. I love creating eyes. You could do circles. Let's see. You could do little mandalas. So that's my first one. I think I'm going to stick to this for the next one. This one here, I think I'm going to do little circles. Cute. And let's see, this one here, I think I'll just do stripes going across. It's really whatever you're feeling. This one here, since it's the heart chakra, maybe I will do little hearts. I'll do it in my smaller marker. This is your throat chakra, so it's about communication. Maybe I will do little swirls going out like this, and kind of symbolizing communicating with the world. This is your third eye chakra, so that's cosmic. So maybe I will do little sunbursts. Again, you could do anything you want. I'm just kind of drawing in anything that comes to mind. And your crown chakra. Ooh, why don't we just do one? We could do little crowns in here, actually. So I will do little crowns in this one. Cute. I'm gonna make it look like some are bleeding off the side here. Cute. All right. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you relaxed as you were painting this. That was the whole point of it, not really to make a beautiful painting. This was supposed to be more of a meditative process, just enjoying the flow, watching the watercolors flow together, just being grateful for things in your life, just having a quiet moment for 10, 20 minutes, however long it takes you to paint this. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. That'd be great. I'd love to do more of these meditative paintings for you. And you can also subscribe if you'd like to. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.